that wasn't turned in by that case manager. So, this checklist will help you get the essential pieces or get things done, the way she wants them done. And Jennifer, one of the things I was just telling them is that Sheila doesn't want any, forms being
I already have it
used.
on there, like, yeah.
No forms
I
that she
was
doesn't
gonna talk about
approve.
that.
Yeah. So, but, and right now, we had gotten to minutes of the meeting because,
We were having a discussion about minutes.
yeah, because that's the basic thing that I'm looking for. Not that your words say exactly what the shall said, because sometimes there may be a whole piece that happens in a meeting that there's not a shall part for. You're just saying, basically, as truthfully as you can, what happened in a meeting, okay? And take out those things that didn't. One of the things I usually always catch on people is that up at the top where it says, parent was provided, transition pamphlets. Okay, we don't give any pamphlets out here. The shall is created to happen for every campus, and every campus needs are very different. High school does put out some specific pamphlets and things on transition. The only thing we give parents here is the Texas Transition and Employment Handbook. That's all we give. And so when you come into the room and you're getting ready to do an ARD, if you're watching what I'm doing, and last year was real hard, but simply because it was most of them were virtual, so you couldn't see what happened with some things. But, you will know what I'm doing, whether I'm just giving procedural safeguards or whether I'm giving the guide to the ARD and the procedural safeguards. Now, here's what basically happens. If it's an annual, they get both booklets. They get both booklets one time a year, okay? If they're coming back to an ARD for an MDR, let's say they had to go DAP, they have to get a procedural safeguards booklet at that point. It doesn't matter if they've already had 50. We have to give it at that point. So if you're coming into the ARD and you're watching what I'm doing, it's those two booklets and the Texas Transition Employment Guide. That's what they get from me, okay? If anything else goes down, and we've had a couple of these happen in the last few years where a kiddo has now been identified as intellectual disability, okay, that's brand new at that point for that parent. So at that point in time, we also usually give a little booklet that is about resources for them. So you would want to indicate that they received that as well. But basically, that's all we give is those three I just said. And revision ARDs, it'd just be procedural safeguards for those. Transfer ARDs only get the procedural safeguards. They get both of them at annuals. So, but if you don't see what I'm doing, for whatever reason,
I have that written down already.
then you can say to me, Miss Webb, did you give? Okay, because we can take care of it right there. It's not a deal.
So it's the Texas Transition and Employment Handbook.
I got it written down here. I got it in the minutes so that you guys can
Okay.
look back at it. I wrote down what she just said about what's given at annual, what's given at revision, what's given at transfers.
Okay, good.
Now,
Just so that
every
way
once
it's
in a
all
while-
there so
Yeah.
everybody can look back at it.
And every once in a while, something could be a little bit different, but again.
Oh, I know, like
we
there's
can-
gonna be differences, but like that's the.
We can handle it, yeah,
Yeah, that's the norm.
yeah.
Is it okay to record these
No.
meetings?
No,
No, you cannot record me.
no, and when we start an ARD meeting,
Inside.
one of the things I will ask, especially if the person is on the phone or virtually, I will say, is there anyone else in the room with you that can hear this conversation? And then I tell the parent, we have to ask that for confidentiality reasons. And then I will say, are you recording this meeting? And they usually say no. And when they do, then I say, is anyone here recording this meeting? Because you have to reveal that.
Well, I'm
You
recording
do
this
not-
meeting and I
Parents
wanted
do
you
not
to
have
know.
reveal that.
That's why I'm
Sorry, I
asking.
didn't hear you because he was.
Because it helps me to go back and,
Oh, it would
If I
help
miss something-
everybody.
No, he's saying right now.
I'm talking right now, I'm recording this.
Oh, I don't care.
In case anybody objects, let me know.
I don't care, at all, but we cannot record anything in that art meeting unless that parent is. Now, if that parent says, yes, I am, we're gonna stop right then and we're gonna find a way to record that meeting ourselves, because we will not have a parent recording a meeting that we don't record.
Well, anytime I'm in a meeting, I'll have my iPad, and if they're recording, I'll make sure it's recorded.
Well, we have a way to do
But-
that.
Yeah, no, we have to do it
Yeah,
through the school.
You have a,
it,
okay.
it has to, yeah, I have to take care of it.
But do you know that parents can say no and they can still record?
And when they do, yeah, of course they can, but that's why we do what we do and we indicate it, because if they do that, their butt's in hot water.
No, it's not. Texas law lets you record.
You can record, but you can't do it and not reveal.
No, you can.
Well, if they're caught being deceivious,
That's not
there's
what we're
trouble.
being told by our lawyers.
If they are in the, they can't leave a recorder in the room and walk out. But if you are present in a room, anybody can record.
Yeah, they can, but they have to reveal
they
it
don't.
they are.
I'll find the law that you don't, unless the law's changed in the last 3 years.
I'm just saying, that's because we've had many a discussion about it and what we have to do. I'm just saying from that standpoint, what Walsh tells us.
Okay.
So I don't,
They've told me different, so,
other than that, I don't know.
but just be aware that parents can't.
It can,
But I
and,
feel like they're always being recorded.
yeah, that's it right there, cause I'm not gonna do anything I wouldn't do anyway, so, or say anything I wouldn't say anyway, so, you just always have to be aware of that, you know, we can always be on the,
You ready for your agenda?
Yes, I have lots to discuss, because we just got out of team leader stuff too. I did send out an agenda the other day, I was updating it all morning, just so you guys know, so added lots of new things to it. Okay, just A is the same, work with gen ed teachers, design your lesson plans, make accommodations, try to be a team player, try to work on who's teaching what, because I know a lot of our teachers are new, so I just added that. Okay. B has changed slightly. At the beginning of the year, they said, no exceptions, even in the art, all testing must be online. And I said, you can't do that, the art will overrule whatever you want. And he's like, "You're right, I'm checking on that, but the district has told us all online." So now, all online testing in all gen ed classes for everything, even our curriculum unit assessments, all STAR is online, all benchmarks are online, everything's online. Do not do paper unless it's an extreme case and you actually have a reason. So, but I like paper is not a reason anymore, because 95% of the kids will say that anyway, it's regular ed. This whole state is moving to the online thing, they want the Sped kids, 504 kids, EL kids, all of them, to start learning the online testing. So that's getting pushed out to the gen ed teachers as well. But I just want to tell you guys, really be careful on who you're paper copying, because I normally say to the kids, well, what do you like better? I don't care what you do. So now what they want us to do is kind of tell them, like, we're moving online, look at their needs. If there's not a need for it to be paper, they need to be online. So I'm changing that right now.
You know, the STAR alt test will be like a digital.
That they didn't know about yet.
Okay.
So you guys are still good for that
Okay.
STAR all too. Still no answers. Proceed as usual. And that's just my reminder to me to check on that. Okay, big thing, minutes and goals, guys. They have to be reflective of the student's actual identified area. Butler comes in all the time with a kid who is ED only, but then they have reading, writing, and math goals. And I'm like, why? Why? They're ED. Even ADHD kids, they don't have a deficit in that learning. They might have a learning gap because of their ADHD, but our goals need to be focused on helping them with what their disability is. Because I can write a goal for, again, like 90% of gen ed kids, because they're behind in math, because they're behind in reading. We don't just write goals because they're behind. It has to go with actually what they're, have a disability, and not just because they're behind. Does that make sense? And then their minutes, oh my God, so Sheila was here yesterday, I'm so flipping annoyed, Webb, because
Mm.
she says the high school doesn't like our minutes.
Yeah.
And I said, you told us, cause she's like, they can't do 3 days a week sometimes. I'm like, you're the one that told us we had to do 3 days a week or 2 days a week. I know, she's like, well, they can't do 3 days a week sometimes, and you're writing them that they have to be there 3 days a week, and I was like, I don't even like this 3 day a week day stuff, you know, like, I thought that was a district thing. And she was like, well, yeah, I go, so I'll just write it like, you know, like 50 minutes a week then. She goes, no, we have to have a number of days. I was like, okay, I'm really confused here. You just told me the high school can't do, so I really don't know how we're supposed to write our minutes, guys.
And Jennifer, we've written them the way the Wizard of Oz.
I know. I was like, I don't, so like, I need help, guys. I don't know what she wants. Did you feel like she gave an answer to that
No.
question?
No.
Cause I was like, you just said the high school can't do minutes, and then you said, sorry, we're still doing sped, come on in. But then you said, we have to have a number of days, so I was like, I don't know. So I say we just continue writing them. She did say, props to us, that we haven't done the best in the district. Like, our goals, our minutes, or the way we do inclusion, she said, is the best in the district. We haven't set up.
And I will tell you, I had a conversation with Amy the other day, because I always say to her every year, if there's something you need different from us, tell me. I don't want to do it and cause you
Right?
trouble that is unnecessary. And Amy said, Carolyn, everything is pretty okay for right
Cause
now.
I'm like, I don't care how I write it, like, just tell me what you want, I'll do it, whatever helps.
And guys, this comes into the 8th grade students, which is mostly Jennifer.
Yeah.
But some of you do, from time to time, do some 8th grade students. And so when we do 8th grade students, we always have to be a little bit more mindful of what we're doing, because we have to write a schedule for the remainder of this year, and then we have to write a schedule for what's gonna happen for the high school.
Yeah, cause I don't mind
And-
stopping something in June, and,
So,
you know,
and you always do this already, but so that you'll know too,
yeah.
you always need to
That's right.
consult
That's
with the
what
high
I was
school
right.
people as to what that
Right.
schedule needs to look like. Because that, if they give us that information, then
They
even if
can't
they come back at the end of the year
Right?
and say, that doesn't work for us, then that doesn't hurt my feelings, because we did consult you.
Well, Sheila did say, well, it changes every year, so I don't really know.
It
Like,
does.
well then,
It does, and sometimes it is changed in the middle of the year.
yeah, so,
But we want to do our part in consulting
or at
with
least
them
being acknowledging
to
of
make
it.
sure, yeah. And just like with yours, Amy doesn't want us to put, I was putting algebra 1.
Yeah.
She doesn't want us to do that, because over there, they're changing what they call things sometimes.
Just like the IFC class.
I thought they just changed that recently, that we have.
They did,
And now they
then
don't.
in the middle of the year last year, they changed it in, and she said, just put
Math
English
1,
1,
math 2.
math 1, science 1.
Yep.
That way it covers whatever.
Exactly. Like, so I do feel
Yeah, I
bad,
know.
but at the same time, I'm like, listen, I can't keep up with how many times.
Now, yours might be different depending on what they want for those life skill kids.
I thought the scheduled service had to match their transfer.
It's supposed to,
And maybe they'll change that in high school then.
but if they tell us over there what they want.
Yes, I'm gonna put in what they want.
Exactly.
And I have emailed Becky.
Exactly, so that's kind of, so what I put here is, and
We're
she,
gonna do it that way, cause then my feelings are hurt if you come back and say that's not what I did, and say, okay.
I have
well, we
emailed
did-
Sandy
they
and
did
schedule.
consult you, yes.
and now we're no longer allowed to say 50-50 in co-taught. We can only say inclusion, everything's inclusion, there's not a because apparently, which I was highly offended by, she said, we're not a co-teaching district.
We're not, that's what, but that, again, that came from the wisdom of God, so.
What are we?
We're an inclusion district, so I'm highly offended because I specifically came to Quinlan because I was told co-teaching, because that's what I did for.
Weren't we co-teach last year?
Yep, and now we're not, we're just
I think
inclusion.
we're
We've never been
inclusion on
coaching,
paper.
but they use those two words to differentiate which group they were putting kids in.
To clarify.
So this is the way, kind of what I took everything from
My
Sheila.
guess is Bob, but I don't know that for sure.
So from Sheila, pretty much, we have to stick with the 2 days, 3 days inclusion schedule on the art paperwork. If they need a minimal support, do 2 days. If they need maximum support, it's still gonna say 3 days. Do never put 4 days, because now that, do never, I know, shut up. Do never put it, because that gives us no wiggle room at all. Minutes can range from 5 minutes all the way up to 45 minutes, because classes are generally 15 minutes. But seriously, I would never put 5, I would never even put 10. I've never gone below 15 minutes, because if they need that little support, do they need support at all? Inclusion logs we all know about, monitor list, are you guys good with that? Did you get access to?
Yes.
I just worried, because it took us a little bit to get, well, you good with your monitor list? I just wanted to remind everybody, our lovely progress reports are now every fucking 6 weeks.
Yes.
That is why I hate 6 weeks instead of 9 weeks, because that makes way more paperwork.
Yes.
Teacher receipts.
And Jennifer, on that note, if they start to fail on the second 6 weeks, we
Oh.
have to have
Second
an art
6
meeting. Yeah, and we can't wait till semester if we're doing 6 weeks.
So, just the second 6 weeks, like,
On the
Second
first
and
one, you
fourth.
don't have to, but on the second one, we now have to have an art
No, you're
meeting if they're failing the class.
at any point,
I
up to
appreciate that.
6 weeks, or just?
No, on the on the second 6 weeks report cards,
So the second and fourth one,
if they fail,
because
yes.
the second semester would be the third 6 weeks and the fourth 6 weeks.
But it could be second and third, 2 6 weeks in a row.
That's true. That's
If
true.
they fail any 6 weeks, contact Web.
Any 6
Yeah.
weeks after, starting from the second 6 weeks.
What's up, Mr. Robinson?
6 weeks in a row, right?
Oh, go
No,
ahead.
it's just, they don't worry about the first 6 weeks because they can still recover.
Okay.
But starting at that second 6
Not
weeks,
yet.
they might not.
Web. Meeting. Got it. Starting with the second 6 weeks, if they fail, contact Web. Sound good? Okay, teacher receipts, when you get them from all the teachers, for all the kids in your caseload, send them over to Kathy Harbor.
And y'all put them in alphabetical order, because when she's going through that many and trying to file them, then she
Alphabetical
needs to-
order, no paper clips, no double side.
Oh, that's the other thing for me. Do not send me anything, don't copy your teacher reports on front to back. Everything has to be single-sided for me, because it has to go through the scanner and, yeah, no staple.
I got that in there for
No
you.
nothing, cause I can get in there and start scanning it, and you've got a staple hidden in there somewhere, and that jams everything, you have to start all over. So, no staples, no paper clips, and no double-sided anything, every document must be single-faced.
So are we chasing down forms this year?
Yes, we have to.
Yep.
I mean, like
We have to.
excessive?
We have to.
And I
There's no
sent last
option.
Yeah.
night by email to you all the new
Yeah, I
teacher
got
report.
I already got that in here.
Okay.
Yeah, because I deleted all the old ones, and I already got that in our folder.
Yep.
that new form, the confidential progress report one that we got. The one you're talking about, it says return to the campus diagnostician ASAP.
That's just cause they put everything up there like that, if you wanna mark through it and put your name, that's fine.
Email, hey guys, email has to be checked and answered within 24 hours. District admin already sent me an email about concerns from people that are not responding to emails within 24 hours. I don't know, you guys gotta get organized, you gotta get on the ball, you gotta make sure they've sent invites and such, for teacher meetings and stuff like that with no replies back, and so make sure you're checking your email every day, multiple times, and you're getting back within 24 hours.
So if they send us an invite for a meeting, we have to respond, we should.
You have to respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just put it on
Yeah, they said just hit the respond
the
button.
calendar. Okay,
Cause then that way that's their backup if you don't show.
Oh.
They said they're coming, they replied, so that's what they just asked me to make a blanket statement about that. And then Jay, what Webb just talked about, guys, so the new teacher information sheet, what I went through, so I put it on here, In the Sped folder, it's under ARDS, papers and examples, it's under teacher and nurse report. I deleted everything else, there is one teacher information sheet, that's the one Web just gave us. There is one, nurse's report, and there is one teacher receipt, these things, this is what I
So
mean.
that's stayed the same.
So, yeah, I just made it prettier, like made sure all the lines were even and stuff like that, cause it bothers me when things are perfectly parallel. So, throw away anything you had, we are only using these, cause these were the ones approved by,
Do they still want me to do the behavior sheet?
which one? I don't have that one.
It's a separate form that I was told to give out, I think you gave it to me, and I was told to give it out to all the teachers for the
Nope.
behavior kit.
Sorry, guys.
Nope, cause this one takes everything. And unless you get it approved through Sheila. This is the only one she wants me sent out. Oh, then I'm not privy to that info.
Do you know this one?
And vaguely, I remember something you had about behaviors, on your kids. Let's look at it at some point, because I'm not sure where that came
Behaviors
from.
and it asked the teachers, well, I got it from you, but it asked the teachers.
You might have it, but if you did, somebody sent it to me or something, I don't know, but let's look
I
at
mean,
it.
it's helpful, because what she sent is not.
RLA, give me 5 more minutes, I'm sorry, team leader went over, way over. And then I have the stuff about the case manager checklist in the minutes, did I miss anything else from before I was here?
And we need to get minutes approved. Your minute form is not Sheila's form.
What does she want us to do?
I don't know, but
If she wants us to not use anything except what she has approved in any kind of
can you
form.
send her yours?
I will, let's just talk about that, okay?
Okay.
Because if you have taken out, and here's the thing, y'all.
That's the art agenda.
I don't care if you have taken out things in a shell and made your own little thing, and this is what I'm gonna use for a revision. That doesn't bother me, I don't think it would bother her, because it's still got the wording in it from the original.
That's
So,
all my,
I
all.
don't see anything wrong with that, okay?
And the minutes are supposed to be a summarization anyway, so there shouldn't be a form she has to fill to approve.
Okay, okay.
Ugh. But, Web, we'll talk about that, I'll come down by you, and we'll look at my stuff.
Okay.
Does anybody need any supplies from Sped that we need to order? Is there anything we know of?
I'm gonna need purple folders, cause all my kids coming up have the yellow ones and.
Oh, I don't even use them anymore. I don't even color code them anymore, there's too many. I just use a regular manila folder now.
Okay.
I think that went out the window,
Okay, so purple,
having color coded.
the purple Sped folders that we,
I don't think it matters, cause I get different colors all the time. I've had green ones now.
are we still doing the purple sheet?
Nope. Nope, I have a folder,
and
I
here's
have a
the
document
thing.
that says order of our paperwork.
Yeah, I have that.
And I just put it all in one with no.
Still putting my purple.
Nope.
And that's perfectly okay, because as I'm going through your
She
paperwork,
threw me off
I am
that.
checking off my list, she turned this in, she turned this in, she turned this in. And if something's not there and you've said you turned it in on your checklist, that's why your checklist should be at the top of your paper, then I'm gonna start to question, where is it? And I'll ask you, okay?
But I did say we'll order, I'll put it in order for just manila folders, so that we have them.
And,
So in this order, Carolyn, in the folder.
I think it does, I don't know if y'all still do, like, the page, the confidentiality thing, you still do that by paper and everything?
Everything's by paper, I do everything by paper, because we need it printed out
Can we,
anyway.
that just.
It doesn't copyright, that's why they didn't want it, because I even tried yellow, and they said it doesn't copyright.
What?
When we do these, the teacher information sheets on colored paper, it comes too dark.
It is if
It's gotta
it's a
be a
dark
light
color,
color.
but if
It's
it's a
gotta be light.
pastel, it doesn't.
So you want me to order pale yellow?
It can be.
Yeah, we need to.
I think I have some color paper.
No, we need it for every yard, for every kid, for every teacher.
Oh, well, I don't know that I have that much time.
That's like, that's what you say, no, Melissa.
Not giving you everything she has for the next 10 years.
Exactly. Bulletin boards, guys, our bulletin board for Sped is behind it's in the teacher's lounge, it's the one that says happy birthday. I'll do it the whole year, we don't have to do it. I already ordered my cupcakes and I just found out Eric has them there. So I just will update that for everybody. Has everybody tried Sped? Can they get in?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf, are you okay getting into East Bend?
Sped?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if
Frontline,
I'm not sure if I've tried to get in there before.
Okay,
I may have done it and don't realize it.
okay. Well, we need to make sure of that because when you start getting ready for your first start, you don't want to be working out at 12 o'clock at night. So,
Well,
And then I just wanted to,
I'll do that.
Ascender, the green one is where we get the grades, attendance, behavior. The red one is where teachers take attendance, and we do not have access to that yet. Well, you guys do, because you're case teacher of record.
What's a sender? I don't think I have a sender reading.
This one,
it's the SIS, BIS.
yeah,
or
it's,
SIS.
it's the old Texas, the
I
T.
don't think I
you
Okay.
have to go under Quinlan ISD and then it'll be at the top of the list, SIS, BIS, that's what you go into. And you signed the other day the piece of paper for them to be able to, get you
Helen, I'll
access.
come down by you guys today.
Okay, I'll let you, I'll email you if I don't.
What it'll let you do is get in to see those kids' grades and
We can do
attendance.
that on our attendance list.
You can.
This one even shows you if they have referrals and stuff.
But the speech teacher did that.
Yeah, so I'll come down and I can show you guys what I do. And then I just put upcoming dates, it's just me and this is what I do on my calendar, so I just put that there. And then guys, I did the next meeting date, and that's just one Friday a month when we're here on a thing. Does that work for everybody? Just to check in with everybody once a month and see? Okay,
Thank you very much.
and I'm sorry I have to kick you out.
I need
have
to say one more thing.
Oh, sorry.
This little letter right here is supposed to be going out to all students in the district because when the legislature decided to do what it did at the end of July and tell every student that if they failed, they would now do 30 hours of tutoring in that subject and 60 if they fail 2 and 90 if they fail 3. Then, this just came out, Sheila was waiting on this. I don't have complete clarification about this yet, about anything you may have to do as far as the plan is concerned for that student. And I've gotta figure out how we're gonna get these, because I was told that the district was sending these out to students. And if they are, we've gotta figure out how we get our hands on a copy for it to go into the art paperwork. So, more information will come about this, because we are gonna address this in some arts that we already have scheduled on Wednesday. So, I'm not real clear about all this yet, but just know this is a plan that we have to address in arts because, they failed.
And that's for anybody though.
It's for anybody, but because they're Sped, we have to include it in their art paperwork, and so that makes it a little bit different than just being a Gen Ed kid. Okay, don't forget that when you come to art meetings, you've gotta call the kid to the art, but we've gotta transfer and the parent doesn't want, that student to come into that art, so I'm telling her. Yes, I need to talk to you about that. But as a general rule, don't forget that you've gotta call the kid to the art with you. You hunt them down so that we're ready to go. And, y'all help us start these meetings on time so that we can move them. And sometimes that's not in our control, as you know. All right, does anybody have a question of me right now that I can help you with?
If you do, go down to her office.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Sorry.
Can't get out of
I will not schedule 4 meetings back to back to back next time.
You want me to share with you, but she has a already.
I already shared it with them.
Okay, good, all right.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, she's on the ball.
He should know that, like,
I know, I just.
I'm on the ball.